Wait, let's do this. Look, 2 layers. Hi everyone, I'm Eevone and this is my Q&A about solo traveling. I hope this Q&A can help those who always wanted to solo travel or always wanted to travel but don't know where to start. I really hope this video can help you guys to at least start something. Okay, so before I posted like a Q&A post, asked me a question about solo traveling. I mean, like some of my friends have been asking me a lot about like how do I solo travel, how can I travel so often and blah blah blah. So I decided that I think I should make a Q&A to reply all those questions at once, and at the same time I hope for those who never even thought of traveling yet, I hope this Q&A can, I don't know, give you an idea or somehow one fine day motivates you, because I don't think traveling is something bad for everyone. And yeah, I've already like planned the question a little bit from how you start planning and until question that are problems or stuff that you will face when you're doing solo traveling. So let's go. So a little bit backstory. I've been starting to solo travel since 2019 February, right after Chinese New Year's. Yeah, ever since then, and I've been traveling quite a lot. I won't say I've been to a lot of countries, but it's just I've been out for quite a little bit. So if you're interested, I've made some vlog out of it, and I lost a lot of videos because yeah, I lost, like my hard disk just broke, so backstory. Anyway, I'm not an expert in solo traveling yet. I'm not like a full-time like backpacker solo travel that kind. No, I'm not. I still travel with a big luggage, but just one. And we'll get to that, like how to pack and how to like packing. We'll get to that with this Q&A. Yeah, let's start with the simple question. Now you're interested in solo traveling, or you're ready for solo traveling, or you're somewhere between deciding if you want to solo travel or not. First question is always the simple and the hard question. How do I choose which country should I go first? Okay, for me, Okay, so the question is how to choose which country to go first. So I would say if this is your first time solo traveling, I would say firstly is to go to a nearer country. I would suggest to be in Asia, because like generally you're still more familiar in Asia and the language and all the culture stuff. And second most important thing is you have to know what do you want to explore in that country to like keep up your interest and excitement. I think it's very important if you're solo traveling, because sometimes solo traveling can be very lonely and alone, sometimes, not always. And that time you have to know like what keeps you interested to stay in that country. So yeah, I think you should think about which country gain your interest in some point. And also it's better to find a country which is like solo travel friendly. Like yeah, the tourism of the country should be somehow developed, and it's not like no one travels to that place, or not very often people travel to that country and then you choose that country as your first country to do solo traveling. That's not a really good idea, because it will be very hard for you. And also from my point of view, choose a country that is the public transportation are really convenient, because when you solo travel you usually don't go with taxi or Grab. You usually don't do that because you want to cut down your costs. So I think if you choose a country with like the public transport is really developed and convenient, it's a very good point for you. So for myself, I chose my first country to do solo traveling was Korea, because it's not that far from Malaysia, and secondly, it's travel friendly obviously, and also I'm really interested in Korean culture, music, dance and concert, and the food of course, and all those culture stuff. Yeah, that's what I say, it's important for you to know what are you interested in that country, so it's better for you. And also, not to mention like the public transport that is really simple and developed. And also one extra bonus point for Korea to be the first country to do solo traveling is because the Wi-Fi there, like I was there for 3 months and I never worried about like I don't have Wi-Fi, because They have free Wi-Fi everywhere. I think they're one of the countries that has the fastest Wi-Fi, I think. If you're interested in the country, normally you'll put more effort and time to understand the country, or you already know the country very well from like TV shows and a lot of stuff you watch online. So I think that's the country that you should go first. Second question, once you decide the place that you want to go solo travel, then what should you do next? From my opinion, once you've decided the place, then you should think about how long do you want this solo travel to last. Like, do you want to do solo travel at this country for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, or 3 months? Usually the maximum is 3 months in a country because your visa and stuff. So yeah, once you decided that, and then you should check for your visa. Like, do you need a visa there and how long you can stay there and blah blah blah. Usually go to a country that you don't need visa, because usually a nearer country doesn't need visa, and no visa is way easier. And I would say do macro research first, like the public transport there. How are you gonna use? How are you gonna pay? Should you get a card there, or can you do it through your phone and stuff? The public transport there. And secondly, how much is the Wi-Fi? You should check like how much is to buy a SIM card there. Yeah, because in some countries the Wi-Fi there are very expensive. Sometimes it's cheaper if you just allow your phone to get like hotspot. Yeah, that's based on my experience in Korea, because when I was in Korea, like I told you, the Wi-Fi was everywhere. Like, I don't need a lot of Wi-Fi when I'm outside because I can connect to free Wi-Fi. And then, like, if you get a SIM card there and a data plan there is more expensive, then you open your hotspot from your original number in Malaysia. So for me, I didn't get a SIM card from Korea because it doesn't make sense, because it's cheaper to use your own hotspot. Yeah, like macro research, what kind of stuff that you should basically get as a traveler, and you have to put a checklist like where do you want to go or what do you want to do when you're there. Like general research, like how you're gonna go there, what's the possible way to go there, like if you're using public transport, then how much is it, and if the place need tickets. Like for example, you're going to Disneyland and it requires ticket, so how much is the ticket, and you should calculate it in your budget, because if you really want to go there, yeah, you should research all this thing. Okay, next, once you do this macro research, then you should decide which city you want to stay in the country. So usually I will stay in the main city and stay really close to the station, the train station and stuff, because yeah, you're solo traveling and you might have a lot of stuff with you. You don't want to be inconvenient to travel in and out, like, or you have to pay extra for the transport to travel in and out every day, because it just doesn't make sense. But usually I will choose the capital of the city because most of the interesting stuff is there. Unless this trip you decided you want to go like full nature, then that's a different story. But for me, my personal experience and advice is like, if this is your first time, don't be too harsh to yourself. Go to a city which is everything is simple and developed and it's convenient. Yeah, stay in a city and stay near a train station or a bus station. Yeah, for me that's all. After you decided where you want to go, that's all I have to do for my research, because most of my plans are impromptu, because you're solo traveling, you don't have to really follow the plan, because you don't have to follow everyone, it's just all about you. So like for me, my plans are really impromptu. Like maybe when I reach there, I met some people and they're nice and we can get along, and yeah, I might change my plan, like I might follow them or they might follow my plan and we can discuss together. So usually I plan my solo trip, it's usually up to 3 months. So like of course there's some place and some stuff that I wanted to do that's in my checklist. I will try to do all of them if it's possible, and then ask for advice from the local people, and yeah, and by the meantime just chill, meet people, and then you will always have new plans when you meet new and good people. So yeah, that's all I plan, and everything else is just impromptu. Okay, third question, which is one of the highly requested questions. So if I go solo traveling, where should I stay? What kind of accommodation should I stay? Of course, if you're solo traveling with a budget, of course you won't stay in a hotel. I usually choose like hostel or like Airbnb, which is yeah, go as cheap as possible, but be safe, of course. Yeah, just hostel which is near the train station or which is near the city. For me, I don't really care about where I sleep. That really depends on your personal budget and needs, I guess, because I just need a place, a safe place to put all my stuff, and a decent place or clean place to sleep. That's all I need, like just a bed. Yeah, so I don't need like private space and all those when I do solo travel, because usually you won't be in your room a lot. So yeah, I don't think it makes sense if that you get a private room. But some places, the hostel conditions are really bad there. You have to do some research if you want to go to like a more complicated place, I guess. Sometimes you might want to choose Airbnb, but Airbnb usually is like a little bit over a budget, or double the price of a bed price in a hostel. So usually if I wanted to go that kind of places, I won't go alone. I will try to find someone to share an Airbnb with me, so your budget is still there. Oh, and last but not least, you can also check out this app called Couchsurfing. Yeah, so that's an app that help you to look for a host nearby you or the city that you want to go, and they allow solo traveler to do couch surfing. Sometimes you just want to stay over the city for like one day, so you can just sleep over their couch. Sometimes if you're lucky enough, they have a private room for you, which they don't mind you sleeping over, so yeah, just go. But as a female solo traveler, be careful, just be smart, and sometimes you still have to be wise and check out and follow your sixth sense. If it doesn't feel good and it doesn't feel right, just leave, okay? Fourth question, one-way ticket or return ticket? So what I usually do when I was traveling in Asia was I only buy one-way ticket because I don't know where I will come back or when I will come back. That's the problem. So I usually just buy one-way ticket. Yeah, but it also depends on the country. Some country doesn't allow you to pass the border if you don't provide your return ticket, because they just wanted to make sure that you leave the country, like you don't overstay and become like illegal traveler there. Asia country usually doesn't check your return ticket. Like, I'm from Malaysia, so if the country is closer to Malaysia, usually they don't check your return ticket. But if you go further, like if you go to Europe country, they definitely wanted to check your return ticket. They definitely wanted to know when are you leaving the country. It really just depends on the country. Do they need a return ticket for you to go through the borders? Yeah, but for my preference, if it's possible, I will just buy one-way ticket because it's way more flexible and way more exciting. Okay, fifth question, which is one of the most highly requested question too, is how do I plan my budget? Usually I plan to go for solo travel is for 3 months. So I would say if you're ready to go for 3 months travel, you should at least have the full cost. You're ready to pay upfront for the cost of 1 month. Like for example, for the stay that you're gonna stay at, you at least have to, the money has to be like cash. Not like cash in your hand, but cash in your card or whatever. You're ready to pay for your accommodation for 1 month, and also some money to get food for a month. And also, the most important thing that you have to back up, it's like the money for a return ticket if anything bad happens, like if you really run out of budget and at some point of the time, or like maybe something went really bad on you yourself, like you just feel like you wanted to go home already. For my personal opinion is that at least you have to have the budget to spend for a month for your stay, for your food, and also a return ticket. Yeah, this is the budget that you have to have, and the rest, based on my experience, like if you can't survive there alone for a month, I think the second and the third month wouldn't be a problem, because the hardest was always, for me, was always the first 2 weeks to get used to it, to adapt to it physically and also mentally. Yeah, I think it's always the first 2 weeks, and after that, everything is gonna be awesome. So if you have finished the video until this point and then you actually have figured out some solution for the previous few questions that we discussed, I think at this point you're pretty much ready to go for a solo trip. Yeah, like now when you're watching this video, I think you're totally ready to go and buy your first one-way ticket. Yeah, just go now. You always need some 冲动, you know, always need some push and some motivation and some like I don't care, okay, I just buy this one-way ticket and I'll figure out the rest later. Yeah, you always need this 冲动 to start your first solo traveling. So if you can really answer and plan all the questions that we discussed previously, I think you're very ready to go for a solo travel now. So I would say just go get your tickets.